The NBA has seen scandals before, but never anything like this. What began as whispers about shady betting has exploded into a full-blown financial catastrophe that's shaken the league to its core. FBI raids, mafia ties, billion-dollar sponsors fleeing, and more than 500 players and coaches under review. It's the biggest collapse in basketball history. What's unfolding now isn't just a scandal, it's the potential end of the NBA as we know it. It all began on the morning of October 23, 2025, when what should have been a normal game day turned into chaos. Federal agents and windbreakers descended on homes and hotels across 11 states, from Oregon to Florida to Nevada. By noon, every major network, ESPN, CNN, Fox Sports, was looping the same shocking headline: NBA bankrupt after sponsors pull out over gambling scandal. Within hours, the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office confirmed what many had feared: a criminal enterprise that tied NBA players and coaches directly to organized crime. Among the more than 30 people indicted were legendary coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former player Damon Jones. They weren't accused of missing shots or fixing scores. They were accused of something even more dangerous: leaking insider information. Locker room secrets, injury updates, and game plans were allegedly sold to high-rolling gamblers who turned those tips into six-figure wins. It was, according to the FBI, one of the most sophisticated sports corruption schemes in U.S. history. The first arm of the operation was called Royal Flush, a rigged poker network backed by infamous mafia families like the Gambinos and Genovese. Hidden cameras, X-ray poker tables, marked decks, and hacked shufflers created a system where the house always won. The second arm, called Operation Nothing But Bet, was pure insider trading. Players and coaches leaked information about minutes, rotations, and injuries to bettors. One text saying, "Taking it easy tonight," could shift thousands of dollars in wagers. Together, these two schemes blurred the line between professional basketball and organized crime. At a press conference in New York, FBI Director Kash Patel said, "We're talking about tens of millions in fraud and theft over multiple years." Behind him stood a wall of seized evidence: crypto wallets, modified shufflers, burner phones, and stacks of cash. The statement was clear. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was criminal enterprise on a massive scale. Inside NBA headquarters, panic set in. Nike froze its partnership with the Portland Trail Blazers. DraftKings and FanDuel immediately pulled NBA-related ads. Market analysts predicted an instant $2.3 billion drop in sponsorship value if advertisers walked away. And that's exactly what they did. By the end of the week, Nike, Coca-Cola, Gatorade, and Microsoft all suspended their contracts. For a league built on sponsorship money, it was a death sentence. The fallout spread fast. ESPN canceled Inside the NBA for the night. TNT's legal team ordered an emergency review of all league footage. That evening, Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley went viral for their emotional exchange live on air. "Every year they told us what not to do," Shaq said, his voice cracking. Barkley snapped back, "These dudes are stupid. You can't fix games. Ever." That clip alone hit 40 million views in a day, and it symbolized what fans everywhere were feeling: betrayal. As details emerged, the evidence only grew darker. FBI documents revealed that mob enforcers used threats and violence to collect debts from wealthy players who lost in the rigged poker games. One gambler was allegedly held at gunpoint. Another was sent photos of his family as intimidation. Even veteran investigators admitted they had never seen professional athletes so deeply tied to organized crime. By the next morning, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver called an emergency meeting with all 30 team owners. According to insiders, the first words out of his mouth were chilling. "We are not facing a PR crisis. We are facing an existential one." Owners shouted in anger. Some demanded the league suspend all gambling-related sponsorships immediately. Others proposed breaking away entirely to form a new independent tournament. One team executive screamed, "If sponsors walk, 500 players lose jobs." And that prediction turned out to be true. Within days, more than 500 players and coaches were placed under review. Rookie contracts were frozen. Coaches were benched indefinitely. For those on non-guaranteed deals, termination letters arrived overnight. Entire teams were collapsing financially, unable to pay staff or players. The numbers were staggering. Analysts estimated the NBA's potential losses at $3.8 billion in just the first week, from sponsorship withdrawals, lawsuits, and canceled broadcast deals. ESPN paused its NBA countdown show indefinitely. TNT delayed broadcasts. Fans turned their anger into memes, flooding social media with hashtags like #FixTheFix and #NBA Blackout. Overnight, the league's global image of excellence had turned into a symbol of corruption. By October 26th, Adam Silver finally faced the press. He stood pale and exhausted as reporters grilled him about the NBA's partnerships with betting companies. One journalist asked bluntly, "Did you sell out the league to the gambling industry?" Silver hesitated, then muttered, "We believed our integrity systems were sufficient." That soundbite went viral instantly, playing on loop over footage of players in handcuffs. The public saw weakness, not leadership. Behind the scenes, FBI files exposed something even worse. Evidence showed that the NBA's own integrity monitoring system had been hacked, turned against them by the very betting syndicates they'd partnered with. Emails showed internal staff had raised alarms months earlier, but were told to ignore it to avoid jeopardizing sponsor relations. In other words, greed silenced the warnings. The turning point came when Gatorade ended its 40-year partnership with the NBA. Their short statement, "Effective immediately, we are suspending all partnerships pending investigation," was the final nail in the coffin. Broadcast partners started pulling games mid-season. Nike halted all marketing campaigns. Even the annual NBA video game was canceled. The entire basketball ecosystem was collapsing from the inside out. As trials began, the spectacle grew. In federal court, prosecutors rolled out cartloads of evidence: phones, poker gear, laptops. They showed encrypted messages where players discussed betting strategies and leaked injury updates. The courtroom gasped when FBI surveillance footage played showing Chauncey Billups and Rozier at a rigged poker table surrounded by mob members. Within hours, your NBA Mafia tape trended worldwide. Midway through the trial, Terry Rozier flipped. Facing up to 20 years, he took a plea deal and testified against others. With a trembling voice, he admitted to leaking game details for quick cash. Then came the words that detonated across the sports world. "I wasn't the only one." Coaches knew. Players knew. The courtroom erupted. That single line forced the NBA to reopen investigations into multiple franchises, including the Lakers, Mavericks, and Bucks. The FBI later leaked an internal memo revealing that at least 10 NBA employees, including a senior operations executive, were under review for obstruction and negligence. The memo contained damning lines like, "Avoid comments implying risk of manipulation. Betting sponsors won't like that." It was proof that the NBA had prioritized profits over integrity for years. Congress soon stepped in. Adam Silver was summoned to testify under oath. Senators grilled him on how gambling partnerships were approved without safeguards. His uneasy responses became headline fodder. One viral clip showed him pausing before saying, "We thought the systems were strong enough." The caption underneath read, "Strong enough to bankrupt basketball." Prosecutors then called their surprise witness, a cooperating mafia associate who described in detail how NBA figures were recruited into rigged poker events as early as 2019. Players were paid appearance fees, then profit shares from the fish they attracted. Hidden sensors in poker tables transmitted deck orders to offsite operatives. FBI footage confirmed it all. Bank records tied Billups to $126,000 in suspicious payments labeled event fees. When an agent testified that it was unlikely he didn't know, the courtroom went silent. Meanwhile, outside the courthouse, the financial side of the NBA hit rock bottom. Sponsorship losses soared past $5 billion, yet teams like Charlotte and Portland were rumored to be up for sale. Fans demanded refunds. Merchandise lines were pulled from stores. Even the G League was canceled mid-season due to lack of funds. By early 2026, the NBA wasn't just struggling, it was collapsing. Then came the most shocking revelation of all. A hidden server, part of the NBA's own betting integrity program, had been infiltrated by the same group of criminals. the FBI confirmed that the league's own system, meant to prevent corruption, had been used to commit it. One agent summarized it perfectly. The NBA's anti-corruption platform became the corruption platform. When verdicts were announced, the league's last illusion of stability shattered. Terry Rozier was sentenced to 6 years. Damon Jones got 22. Chauncey Billups received 12 years and was ordered to repay over $3 million. Minutes later, the Trailblazers filed for bankruptcy. Sponsors withdrew completely, and other franchises soon followed. Adam Silver resigned months later, citing health reasons. But insiders said it was because of federal subpoenas. By mid-2026, what remained of the NBA was reborn as the NBA Trust, a government-supervised league of just 16 teams. Every player contract now included a clause allowing federal monitoring for gambling activity. The league banned all betting partnerships and operated under tight oversight. Viewership dropped by half, but some fans said the game finally felt pure again, scarred but honest. In one haunting interview from prison, Chauncey Billups reflected on it all. "They told us gambling would make the game bigger," he said quietly. "They never said it would make us smaller." His words captured the downfall of an empire built on money and destroyed by it. The NBA that once stood for greatness, teamwork, and competition had become a warning to every sport in the world. When greed replaces integrity, even giants can fall.